Hello and welcome to another video. In this one, I'm going to be watching the movie When Harry Met Sally for the first time and giving my thoughts on that first viewing experience. This is a series that I haven't touched on for a while with being watching a movie for the first time. I'm hoping to do a couple more in October with some horror movies for the season, but with it being September now and this being a pretty iconic fall movie from what I've heard, I wanted to give it a first time watch. I got this movie last year as a Christmas gift and I've been holding off on watching it until this time of year. So despite the fact that it is 90 degrees today in Ohio, I'm doing my best to usher in the fall season. So let me give you my quick thoughts on what I know about this movie going into it, and then I will watch the movie and give my thoughts and reaction afterwards. So this movie is one that I know stars Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal, my buddy Mike Wazowski from My Favorite Pixar Movie, and Meg Ryan I like in the movies that I've seen her in so far as well. And this is, from what I understand, a romantic comedy from the 80s. And so I love 80s movies, so I'm really looking forward to another 80s one. And this one being a rom-com is a little bit more outside of my general interest with 80s like action movies that I'm usually drawn to. So I'm really interested in checking this one out, kind of getting to see life through the lens of the 80s in a rom-com perspective. So I'm really looking forward to that. Other than that, there's really not much I know about this movie aside from a couple of iconic moments that I'm sure will pop up in the movie that I've seen just in, snippets and clips over the years due to the movie's popularity. So I'm really looking forward to checking it out. So let's get ready to jump into When Harry Met Sally. All right, just finished up When Harry Met Sally, and I thought that was great. I really, really liked it. I think just from the opening alone, I took some notes here I'm going to be referring to. I thought it had really great opening music. And then besides that, it was a lot of very heavy piano soundtrack and scoring to it, which I really liked. I've been really listening to more instrumental piano stuff lately. And so hearing that within this movie as well, seeing how they utilized it for the film and the storytelling, I really appreciated that. And then besides that, Carrie Fisher popped up. I did not know Carrie Fisher was in this movie. Obviously beloved as Princess Leia in Star Wars, but it was really cool to see her in something outside of Star Wars as well. I thought she was a really great character. At first, I thought she might just kind of be a cameo in a couple of scenes, but she, once she pops up, she sticks around for the rest of the movie. So that was really cool too. Like I said, she's great. It's always fun to see her pop up and stuff, and she does a really good job as Sally's best friend. Just a really good, really interesting character. Besides that, one of my favorite aspects of the movie was the writing, specifically some of the short monologues and a lot of the back and forth dialogue that the movie had. I thought just all around the writing was really good. Being something that's not a science fiction film, an action film, that kind of thing, you're relying more on the characters and the dialogue. And the characters were really great, and the dialogue was also fantastic, I thought. The back and forth conversations, whether it was the discussions, the arguments, the bickering, like any of that kind of stuff, it was really well done and real well written, I thought. And then besides that, some of the mini like monologues that I mentioned, where people are just talking about their thoughts on love, their thoughts on intimacy, life, marriage, that kind of thing. Really interesting stuff just to hear little brief monologues here and there throughout the movie as it takes place over about 17 or 12 years, actually, is what they say at the end of the movie. So it's cool to get to see these characters over that 12-year period and kind of grow and develop over that time through their friendships and relationships, that kind of thing. So I thought that aspect of the movie was really cool too. I didn't know that it took place over a number of years. And despite that, like I said, this is a popular fall movie. Much of the times where we drop in on these characters is in the fall. It's in other seasons as well, but I think this movie equally works as a winter or holiday, Christmas, New Year's movie as well. So kind of threads that line really well, kind of like A Nightmare Before Christmas, where it works as a fall and a Christmas movie. So I really liked that as well. It definitely opens up the range of when you can watch this movie, because it's absolutely one I want to revisit, because I just loved the overall vibe of it. Like I said, from the music, the location being in New York City was great. I love a New England fall holiday type vibe. That's one of my favorite. It just gets you right in the feels right there, where you can't help but get wrapped up in everything that's going on. Now, I talked a little bit about the performances, but beyond that, of the performances in themselves, I thought the facial acting and the body language was really good. If you know the movie, you know for much of it that Sally and Harry are at odds with each other and kind of pushing aside any potential feelings they might have for each other. And so there's a lot of unspoken moments where you can really tell something either wanted to be said or was going to be said or even was said in a non-audible form, whether it's through their eyes or their body language. So I thought that Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan just did a great job with their not only their verbal and regular what you would expect performances, but really acting well with the eyes, their expressions. You can tell what's going on inside of their heads, and that is not something that's easy to communicate. So I really appreciated that added layer of depth with their performances as well. Also, one just kind of fun line that I think was one of my favorites from the movie is right after Harry and Sally give in and sleep with each other, the next morning he's going through just some random stuff in the room to kind of keep himself busy with all of the craziness that's going on inside of his head, and he grabs this container of index cards that has all of her movies that she has in her collection on it, and he says, you have all your videotapes alphabetized and on index cards? Just a funny observation that he makes, and just me being a collector where I have all of my movies alphabetized and in an app, so modern index cards. I thought that was just a funny little throwaway line probably for the movie, but for me, it got a little chuckle out of me as well. So like I said, great writing, even if it's just a throwaway line that just happens to hit me in a specific way. So all around, I thought it was a really great movie. I was invested in their characters and their story all throughout. The performances were really great. The writing was really great. The music was really timely and effective for the story, the time period, the vibe of the overall movie. It works so well. So it's one that I'm very happy to finally transition from my unwatched shelf section onto my movies of my section of shelves that I have watched. So really excited to finally fully add this movie to the collection. I really enjoyed checking this movie out for the first time. I would love to hear your thoughts on this movie in the comments below, whether it's one you've seen or you haven't seen and you're in the same boat as me and you may be planning on checking it out soon. Definitely let me know in the comments down below. I would love to have you join me there. So thank you for sticking around to the end of this video. I will see you in the next one.